since it's gonna be done, we're gonna start about 11:30. You know,
One moment, just sending this message to you. Okay. I will let you guys know what Ashley has to say about that meeting tomorrow, and then we can go from there. Okay, meeting call to order. Get rolling with Jamie.
Got tires on the pickup, we had a hydraulic cylinder go bad on the payloader, we had to run that up. And we replaced 4 hoses as well on it. We ended up getting a new one, because there's only $100 difference between a rebuild and a new. So we got that all back installed, that's good. We got that amber light up there. I did get another one coming, because that thing don't work all the time.
See, did you get orange this time, or did you get the?
We got an amber one and a red one coming.
Okay.
And that, so Whitney fixed the stop sign at the hatchery that got hit. Took the cameras down at the dump, because I thought 2 were working, but they're not, so only 1 out of the 3 was working. Get the tractor started, moved out of that building, went to Sioux Center and got the broom for the sidewalk sweeper, got that, and that's installed. Had to clean that influence sensor out at the lagoon again. And their leak in the dump truck that we fixed. The vibrator that's on the dump truck, we got that working today. And then plowed Saturday and swept sidewalks, and yes, just a short couple weeks from the last one, so the rest is pretty much just picking up junk yet.
Are the 2 cameras broken?
Yeah, I thought they were working, but they're not. One is.
Are they just broken because of the use?
I think so, because we changed batteries, we cleaned them all out, and there's a bunch of corrosion, we seen underneath there, so they're not worth.
Okay,
Probably look at getting a couple more.
okay. If you guys haven't been to the city shop, it's really cleaned out. Like Troy and Jamie have done a heck of a job cleaning that out. It looks really, really good.
The end is in sight.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
We had paperwork from 1965 in there.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well,
So how are they doing that? They giving you a bay at the fire hall then, or are they doing that?
they're gonna clear some stuff out that we can move some stuff in. The rest of it's probably just gonna go to them storage units that the elevators letting us use.
Oh, okay.
And we'll most likely just be working out of there this summer.
Any other questions about his report you guys have? Go ahead.
I do got one other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too early, I just gotta run across you first. We were talking about when they moved that shop out of there.
Yeah.
And that, in the old shop, the Smith. Any interested in probably checking, look into it a little deeper about maybe hauling that to the dump and maybe crushing it? Use it around the town, and we can use a pile of it out at the lagoon too. If there's any interest in it. I would check on nothing, costs or even who would do it.
Is there anything down at the lagoon, or is it just dirt?
There's gravel down there. Did that,
Crushed concrete would be a lot better.
I think so.
Yeah, it's really nice stuff.
And we got some concrete down there already.
You guys have-
It's just a thought.
Yeah, do you have any concerns about that?
I don't know. We just will get a quote, and see what it would be, and, yeah. I think that'd be a pretty slick deal.
Mm-hmm. We talked about, the asphalt at the north end subdivision that's left over there. And, so we're gonna try to route every conversation about the asphalt through Jamie, because he knows what he needs it for and what he can part with. So if you guys get side conversations about the asphalt, if you can push it through Jamie so that he can manage where it goes, that would be very helpful.
Well, we could probably use a great majority of it, what we're thinking,
Yeah.
doing with it.
But before we let anyone else get any other dibs on anything, that'd be helpful. And then the fill dirt, that's also going to be run through Jamie and Troy too.
So if you know anybody that wants some, I think Kent Skilling said he could probably take a bunch of it. I'd have to ask him again.
There's gotta be some
Someday we'll.
cattle yards that
Yeah,
want some of that. Vandebex would easily take it.
probably. There's actually, forgot about that, there's a lot of it out there that.
Yeah.
And then our last thing I talked about, you and I and Troy, was the flower pots. And you guys were going to do some exploring on that for springtime.
We have it.
Yeah, for springtime. So it's just on the list for you. How did pool school go?
Exciting.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, no, it wasn't so bad.
So we've just been keeping up on our one-to-ones, you guys, so that you are aware, and these are the things that come through, so they get added to the report so that I don't forget about it and Jamie doesn't forget about it. So the pool prep he's got a good handle on all of that, he's really ready.
Not all right, we're
He's
gonna,
ready.
we're gonna go in and we're gonna make, because there's some stuff we're gonna need.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of airlines and chemical lines that are gonna have to be replaced and stuff, but this is nothing major.
Yeah.
And then, because we're talking about springtime already, because it's February, gonna be springtime very soon. Talking
We're
about,
hoping.
yeah, the pool prep
No.
and the seasonal help for mowing, because Marilyn is not around anymore. And so we'll be advertising for the seasonal help for mowing additionally. So I have a advert for that.
Is that full-time?
It was not full-time.
No, I think she just kind of came and went.
Do you know roughly about how many hours it was?
Probably about 10 hours average.
10 hours.
Oh,
So. And they'll report to Jamie. So keep a good eye on it. Any other questions for him?
That was it. Yes, I will.
Yeah. Any other questions you guys have, comments? Anything else you want to cover with us, Jamie?
No.
Okay, cool. Moving right along, Carol's office report.
All right.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, good seeing you. Okay, the water bills are good. Budget report. I've got to get started on our new budget, so that would be my main focus this month. Hopefully not too many more interruptions, I can just kind of concentrate on that. I'm waiting to see if there's any changes in the legislature, but hopefully not. And the rest of the items on the list will kind of be put off this month. We'll get to them. I did go through that grant finder report. I do that occasionally to see what comes up. I haven't found anything real exciting. But always looking.
So at what point do we add, like, the diagonal road repair and some of this Visu sewer stuff to the budget?
Depending on, what we can get in. We talked about the streets being the number one
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, and that's your guys' kind of priority. So
Mhm.
if we have, 200K to work with, what do you want to throw the 200K at? Do you want to throw it at the road, or do you want to throw it at Oak Street? Because we probably can't do both projects.
Right.
No,
My vote is Diamond Street, that is getting bad.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I'm kind of partial to that area too, so.
Well, you noticed it.
Yeah.
That's what we need, is to hear back from the streets that you drive on.
But I was approached last fall by a couple other people as well, and said, we really need to do something with it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we would have had our thoughts together when they did Jefferson Street
Yeah.
and West.
Yeah, they were here in town, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we'll get that in there.
So road, and then we'll put the sewer
Mhm.
later. Speak now, because the budget's gonna get crafted. She puts a lot of time and energy into it, so it's helpful if you can give guidance.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Carol you guys have? Consent agenda. Our minutes from January 20, our treasurer's report, our list of bills.
I've got 4 bills to add, 3, I think. Well, some of you have it, 2 have it,
Okay.
on the ones I printed, so I guess it's everybody except Mark. AV Auto. $15.90 for a headlight for the pickup.
Okay.
And then Dakota Fluid Power hydraulic hoses for the payloader. $505.52. And then diesel machinery. That's a hydraulic cylinder. That was $14.64.08.
What was that for, then?
For the payloader.
Payloader too?
With that, JCB payloader, it's hard to find parts.
Mhm.
So, they go to Sioux Falls for that.
Jamie told, as an aside, this is a skid loader, so, but it just is ringing bells. When I met with Jamie, they were gonna build a blade or get a blade built. They were getting a bid for the blade to be built, and then they were thinking they could get rid of the tractor.
That little green John Deere.
Yeah, they wanna build a blade that, will adapt onto the skid loader.
Yeah.
For grading,
Alleys and
alleys
stuff.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually had a little conversation with Troy on it on the way back from a fire call.
Yeah,
So they're looking at a blade from they took a blade off of the old truck, and they're looking at getting that retrofit from A&R, get the pricing, use that same blade, but then make an attachment for the skid loader, cut that blade down and whatever, and then be just a lot handier, and then they can get rid of that we can sell out tractor and eliminate one of these equipment and use what we can of the existing blade and stuff, so. Some thoughts there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if they've gotten a quote back yet or not, but.
He didn't say, but I wanted to tell you, because I had it written down. Okay. Any other questions or comments on the bills or minutes? Oh, what time is that at? 7. Oh, 6:30. Oh,
But you just can't start early.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
okay.
All right.
No, it's okay. Any other comments on that, you guys? Treasurer's report, let's do.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda, treasury report listed bills.
Support, anybody?
I'll support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. We'll do our public hearing for the proposing of the disposal of real estate to True Finish. So flats 4 and 5.
Resolution 4-25.
4-25, resolution number. Nobody is here. Do you guys have any questions on that? They came in and signed everything. So it all looks good. You all want really good?
Good deal.
Okay. Can I get a motion for the resolution 425?
So moved.
Can I get a support?
Support.
All right, we're gonna go down the line. Mark,
Aye.
Shannon,
Aye.
Jordan, and Rick.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Update on the community center, so once again, you guys have seen the traffic, probably. Just continue to forward the emails. I've had a couple of phone calls with Jonathan, the adjuster. He's literally had no return contact from them since they switched their primary person at the start of the year. And so I was pretty upset last week. And just said, we're not doing this anymore. Like, we
Yeah.
can't do this anymore.
No.
And so he called and called and called until he finally got someone on the phone. And they said that they're almost done with their review and that they'd like to have a Zoom meeting to go over the review that we sent them at the beginning of December, in 1 to 2 weeks. So
Sounds like they're almost started.
Justin from, is a structural engineer, the independent structural engineer that we had originally used when we first had their building consultant come. He's coming back out because there's some questions about some more of the things. And so he's doing one more review of something tomorrow. So Jamie knows about that. He'll be here tomorrow, Carol, Justin from Rise Engineering. And that, I don't have a date yet on that Zoom meeting. I will be there when that happens. And any of you are welcome to Zoom in if you can and you want to be a part of that. I highly recommend it. I have said that we are essentially at the end of this. And so if this is not, if they basically do not say, here is your money at this Zoom meeting, we're done and we're going forward with the advisor.
Yeah.
I felt like that's kind of where everyone was at.
Mhm.
That's why we did these other pieces. So hopefully I didn't speak out of turn for you guys, but, so that's where it stands at this point.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What have they given us already? What has ICAP given us? It was 1.6 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1.66.
Yeah. With a new proof loss of 3.5,
Mhm.
they've got a long ways to go,
Mhm.
considering this is a replacement cost policy.
Mhm.
So, Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck.
And Jonathan, the reason he's talking to, so it's weird because they're Jonathan and Jonathan, that makes it very confusing. But our adjuster talking to the structural engineer, the reason they're talking is because there's some concern that this building should actually be a total loss because it's compromised and there's no construction companies that are bonded to the level that they need to be bonded to be able to do this project,
Yeah.
willing to provide the actual estimates to do it. And so that might be the route that they go, which I don't know if that's better or worse at this point in time. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
But,
It might be easier to get a contractor to do
Yeah.
right,
the whole thing.
that's I think the only benefit is if you do a brand new building and you're starting from scratch for that contracting piece. But I'm tired of I'm very tired of it.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
So. Any questions on that? Oh, all right. Side by side raffle tickets still available. $50 for one, 500 total available. I don't know how many sold, but we have the soup supper coming up in about a month. When we'll draw the ticket for the winner.
So that will be Jersey.
That is actually set to be at Bethlehem. Yeah,
Just curious how that's.
yeah, it was already arranged to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, we have many supportive community churches who are willing to give us their space, so. Our North End subdivision progress, so, I've been talking to DGR, but I haven't been talking to them about the paving because it's obviously winter and it's not something that's we're working on at the moment. So I don't really have any updates on the paving project, but as we get through the winter, I will. And then in terms of lot 1, Carol and I have been in contact with Jen Smith, who's the new economic development person for us, and she helped us kind of figure where we needed to go for updating our property tax abatement. So we've got to call out to Allers Cooney to get that revised. Have you heard back from him yet? Okay. So that'll help us get our adjustments there so that those gentlemen are able to apply for that grant. I tell you what, you guys, I get calls probably once a week asking if we have any lots available in town for commercial or residential, or commercial or industrial lots.
Hey.
I do,
All right,
so
I'll get on it.
there's no pressure. It isn't, because I'm happy to make phone calls too, but there's people out there who want to have their business in Inwood. So
That's a really good problem to have.
it is.
Yeah, right.
Any questions on that, on the subdivision? I did reach out to Dollar General and ask them when we're going to be, because they have to go through that real estate committee, and ask them when we were gonna be on that agenda. They meet twice a month on like the odd Wednesday or something to that effect. And so I hadn't heard back from them yet when I reached out to them at the end of last week to see when we were on it. But they know that they were approved and everything, they have all of their copies and everything like that. So I would expect us to be on their agenda probably this month. They're pretty quick about all of that. So I'll keep you guys posted. Anything else on that? All right, Faber Park. Anything on Faber Park?
I don't think we have any updates. I don't know about these concrete pads for benches.
That is Jamie.
Yeah.
So Jamie was hoping to do concrete pads if you guys are planning a shelter
Okay.
house. So if you can be in communication with him, whenever you're gonna spec that out.
Yeah.
He would like to do, not giant, but just enough for the bench so that it's nice and level and stuff.
That would be kind of nice to secure those benches.
Mhm.
Too.
So that was my reminder to tell you that.
Yeah, worked good.
And then I didn't know if you guys had started to think about what, I know we talked about this a few months ago after we originally got the pad in,
Mhm.
how we were gonna manage equipment for the summer. It's not something that we obviously need to figure out today, but we only meet once a month.
Yeah.
And so summer's in like 2 to 3 months when kids are gonna wanna be outside playing with the staff.
Mhm.
So just to have it in your head, how we're gonna handle that. If it's gonna be like the storage bin that we were talking about and the honor system, or how we're gonna roll it.
I guess we haven't had a serious conversation about that yet. We're a little ways away from the shelter house piece where it would be nice to add something in that shelter house.
Mhm.
So brainstorm,
Mhm.
you guys get to decide what you think might work and maybe give us some of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others on the Faber Park?
I don't think so.
Four-way stop, Highway 18 and 182. You got anything, Mark, since you're representing you in the chat?
I didn't get to talk directly to the county engineer, but through someone to talk with him. They don't like the thought of rumble strips
Okay,
in town like that. They have too much noise concerns, things like that, so they weren't really for it. If we really wanted to, we'd wanna talk to the neighborhood and the people and the businesses and try and get an approval before any of that, but they suggested not.
Okay.
So, Jamie's got the lights coming, and I was able to sit down there one day, it was actually last Friday from 5 to 5:30. I did get actually quite a few vehicles coming through there, which I don't know if Friday made a difference or not. But I had 37 vehicles from the north, 66 from the south, 28 from the east, and 44 from the west. So,
did any of them go through, is that the count that went, like, didn't do a full stop?
no, that's just whatever traffic came there.
Oh, okay,
Everybody did stop, I didn't see anybody just roll through.
okay, okay,
But at least gotta count in the
Yeah.
number and see how busy it gets.
yeah,
I'll try and get down there again once or twice, at
Okay.
a different time, and
see, okay.
Yeah.
And then, if you want, you can either email me that or text me that, and I'll pass it along to Sheriff Hilt, because he likes that, he wanted that data
Yeah.
from us, so,
I will do that.
okay. What do you guys, any comments or questions on the rumble strips or anything else for? Jamie's comment on the flashing light, it's a solar powered light, but he was thinking that maybe because we don't have as much sun right now, it's not, in the early morning hours, it's not lighted at all.
Mhm.
So,
It dies before then.
yeah, so. Let's glue it here.
I just wonder with Klondike Road pull-up coming out of Canton there, that one, they're always on.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what's different with theirs, they've been there for, I'd say at least 4 or 5, if not more years now, but
I don't know.
I can't say I've ever seen them out. That's what I'm wondering, what,
And were ours, was that one new?
No, no,
So
okay.
it's been buried,
it was found in the shop. And
so
he,
he ordered a new amber light.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and a red one too. So hopefully the non-refurbished one, we were gonna try to get away with not having to give a new one, but didn't make the cut, didn't last. So we'll get the new one in and up, and then we'll keep an eye on it and see.
And hope for sunshine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be just that the battery is old and it's not gonna hold charge.
Mhm. Yeah.
are you guys, so the rumble strip question was the question suggestion from Sheriff Hills. Do you want to explore it and talk to the people along that road, or do you want to just let it go? I'm always of the opinion that it doesn't hurt to ask. If you don't ask, I mean, people might not care. And be like, sure, whatever. And then you have another method to potentially alert people to slow down and stop.
Mhm.
It doesn't cost anything to ask people a question. If you want to let it go, I'm fine to let it go also.
Well, we watch the traffic a little bit more.
Yeah. See what the data says and.
Everyone else okay with
I'm
that?
good. I'm good with that. I might have a concern with the rumble strips. I'm not that far off that street.
To the east, you got about 5 of them in.
Make them like speed bumps.
Very large.
Like to the south, that should be a problem with anybody that way. Or anybody that way. But I guess I haven't paid attention. Those are adequate or not either though.
There aren't any on, that's a,
There is none to the south.
no,
think so.
on the side that he's recommending.
Or we can only deal with the county part.
Right,
The county garage.
yeah. That's the only side that we have any ability to impact.
I don't even think going to the south, I don't think there are strips. There are to the west. Are there some to the south?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Sound like I drive over them every day.
Well, I do drive over them every day and I don't notice them.
I do hear them.
You can hear them up here.
All right, we'll let it go and we'll just monitor and then we'll see what we want to do after we have some lights and other things. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Our Chamber of Commerce update, lot 8 has sold. So that is fabulous. It's really exciting. Todd told me that there is another interested buyer for the 2 lots next to Chris, and we figured that was, yes. So it wasn't a done deal yet, but there was somebody very interested in those. So that's exciting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One person in both of them or?
One person wanting lot 8 and then one person wanting the 2 lots next to Chris. Yeah. That's what, so that's great news.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Fill it up.
Yeah, for sure.
He's excited to have neighbors. He can't wait.
Yeah.
Any other questions on that, you guys? All right. So some of these things just stay on here as reminders for us. The nuisance abatement will be happening spring, summer sometime. Any update from them on when they'll be back around? Okay. Board of Adjustment, that had to get rescheduled because of the flooding, so do we have a date yet for that? Okay. Our sump pump drainage, I talked to DGR today, and we talked about what we are hoping to do for that. And they are very interested and excited about it. They've never done anything like that before, but they really like the idea. And I've heard from other mayors who have done this sort of process that it was really helpful. Just to do the education piece first and then talk about your city's ordinances. And then if you have issues, then you can, then it doesn't feel as punitive to be going into people's houses or like, hey, you know. So I need to send Miriam our code on that. Send code.
Somehow.
Yep. Thank you. And they want to do so they'll come to a public meeting that we have. She talked about doing it in April. She said that would probably be the best time to do it. So we'll just have to look at calendars and try to pick the best night of the week. I know we won't catch everybody, but we'll put it out on our Facebook page. We can put it in the paper. We can even do a direct mailer. However you guys want to blanket the town, I think it's well worth the effort. Because I just don't think people know the consequences of not having your sump pump going where it needs to go. So they'll do education on it, provide like a little PowerPoint presentation, answer questions, and give handouts. They'll be our voice, basically. And it's a free of charge. They want to provide the service for us, so. Really lovely. Any questions on that? All right. And then now Rick gets to share all his goodies from his review and our changes to the city code, like we did for Jamie or Jordan last time. His wasn't as bad as yours.
Oh, that was nice.
Actually, his was pretty nice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry. We got done in like 35 minutes. I'm serious.
He had a whole chapter though on drug paraphernalia.
Yeah. It was recovered very well. I was like, wow.
City codes.
I was like, man, this does
So,
really well.
I can't do nothing about it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to go over do you have your stuff?
I have the same notes that I had the first time, so.
Okay. Did you have your things? I didn't print out my list.
I got
You got some of your stuff?
some typed up, yeah.
Okay.
So first chapter he had was municipal code, pretty basic. Then he had, general services, he had water, covered the water. So yes, we need to update our rates in the code. We've passed ordinances, but they're not written in the code yet. Billing period, they wanted to add wording to cover the ACH payments. Then we had Title III, Chapter 5, which was public order and law enforcement. That was the drug paraphernalia. That looks good to us. No changes. And that's pretty much set by the state. I think, actually, when we did ours, they were putting that in every city code now. So they got that back up. Sidewalk chapter actually looked pretty good. Yeah. And then we moved into business occupations and regulations, licensing. And there's just a couple more forms that we want to add to the zoning ordinance, a house moving permit, which I think I actually already have. I haven't looked it up yet. And that was about it for that one, for the licensing. A lot of that too was pretty basic. A couple typos there. And then he had the chapter on building regulations, fire prevention.
The only thing on that one was, chapter 6, 7.6, was to add some wording for social media as well, for getting out,
When we have our,
yeah,
yeah,
So you can always
Getting the
do
word out.
more than what the code states. If it says put it in your newspaper, you absolutely have to do those. So anything else is just extra. So we'll visit with the codifier and see what he wants to add there.
there wasn't anything that was wishy-washy when the three of us met that we were like, ooh, this is something that's concerning that we really need to talk to the council about or anything like that. We all were pretty much on the same page, and most of it was just asking questions like, where is this license? What does that look like? Those sorts of things. And that's why part of it was like, well, if we have a permit for it, let's put the permit, like C permit, or have the permit on the website, something like that, so that we know what it is and can easily track that. Those sorts of things. And then process questions like, is the fee for the meter, is the fee for the installation? Like, because it's not as clear in the wording of the code to know what the fee is covering. other than that, there weren't any issues.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any issues from anything that you wanted to bring up or escalate to them for weighing in?
No, I mean, yeah, we had some pretty good conversation about the sidewalks and I feel we all agree with that, but worked good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one question I had, sidewalk, bike trail, is that a separate, does it have its own city code, or is that considered a sidewalk?
I don't know.
I guess I don't understand the,
Only reason I asked, somebody says they seen, and this was been a couple months ago, the golf cart was on the bike trail.
Oh, I see it all the
And
time.
is that considered a sidewalk, or is that a bike trail? What was the city code? I sorry, I couldn't tell you, I didn't look into it. That's why I'm curious what.
yeah, there should not be.
No golf carts. There's that thing there,
Yeah,
that big giant steel metal pole. There should not be a golf cart on
That's what I figured, I just didn't know how it was enforced or what was done. 'Cause I didn't know if bike trail was separate, means it got put in later, considered just a bike trail and not a sidewalk. I wasn't for sure on that, so.
there. Yeah, no golf carts on there.
or
Yeah,
Should we post signs or something for that? maybe?
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, post or put a sign on it.
That's not a bad idea. We can do that this spring or summer. They're probably not that costly, are they, Carol? I think. We have that magazine, don't we? Linda?
prison industries.
Yeah. Okay. Bike trail.
I don't know if any has.
Kind of feel like we did. Maybe we took it down?
It's hanging on someone's wall.
Aww.
Some kids.
No, there is a penalty for that.
Do you want one just for the one that's going out of town, or do you want one for the stretch through the park too? And then where would you put it?
Both ends.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the west side and the east side, and then the trail start.
Mhm.
Do you want one at the trail end, or just at the trail start?
You almost need
Both,
both.
Yeah.
Both ends.
so 4 signs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll add it to my notes.
I don't understand the purpose of riding a golf cart on a bike trail.
I don't know. I don't know why. people do it.
Yeah.
Be
Um,
on the road.
anything else for Rick's, chapters? Was it that bad, Rick?
No, that's real bad.
Who's up next?
Just half an hour, is pretty good.
Oh, I got Mark next. So Mark and I will, and Carol will connect next month and we'll go through your chapters. Okay? Look at us.
So can I piggyback off of that one once?
Yeah.
Did you get anything back from Micah about we were questioning about the dogs? We selected the whole thing and everything. Did we get anything back on that?
We weren't gonna check with Mike, or we'll check with the codifier. And see what state wise, they'll know that.
Oh, okay. Okay, nothing back on that yet. Okay. I forgot after, I
Yeah.
was thinking about the other day after you said that, I'm like, I didn't see that. Just curious what there's,
Yeah,
what was found out, so.
yeah. And unless you guys felt really strongly about any of the codes that we have in here, we won't make changes to them until we are making the change to the whole thing. We can absolutely do an amendment and enact something right away if you feel really strongly about it. But if it's just as we're going through this and it's gonna get codified anyway, then we'll do them all as a lump. That's cool. Okay. Okay. All right, Mark next. Site engineer appointment, it's just gonna stay on there, like lucky number 10. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay. Enclosed covered shelter house, I did reach out to Mike and Kenny about it, and they didn't have anything updated for us. So I'm just gonna leave it until we get something back from them that's tangible.
Yeah.
I don't wanna forget about it, but yeah. City of Inwood Apparel, so I sent out the information to all of you guys, you should have seen it. We're gonna do, it's a little bit darker than this, it's not quite that blue. Somewhere in between these two blues. And the logo is just Inwood, Iowa. And it'll be on the left breast pocket or left shoulder. We can do any kind of shirt you want. So if you want a collared shirt, we can do collared shirts. If you'd like just a plain t-shirt, we can do that. If you would like long sleeve or sweatshirt, the sky is the limit. With that, they vary in prices, but what I need to know is I need to know if you want one and what kind you want, because we'll put the order in together. So I talked to Troy and Jamie, and I got their requests. I know that I will be getting something for myself. Mark wanted something. So if you feel like there would ever be a need for you to represent your role in the city of Inwood, I would recommend that you get a shirt. It is very, very helpful whenever you are in the public that it says Inwood, like City of Inwood or Inwood, Iowa on there. So if you can get that to me, then I can put our order together in the next week or so. That would be very helpful. Okay? Any comments on that? No? Okay.
Refresh my memory, the email you sent, did it have any prices on anything?
Yeah, couple. Yeah, they were like $30 to $45 depending on the kind you get. Some of them are like tri-blend, some are tech, like kind of like Shannon's, a little bit, material. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and then the city shop, that was purchased on auction, and they're gonna move May 1st is the deadline, so Troy and Jeannie will have it empty, they thought by the middle for sure of April. Just so you guys are all aware. And they're not worried at all about having space for their stuff. They have figured out where everything is gonna go in the interim. And they got a good sale on that too, so that's really great. Yeah, they did.
That was quick.
It was great, it was a really great sale, so that was exciting.
That was really cool.
Awesome. Okay, so emergency management meeting, I went to that in January. Arden Kavishki is the EMS for Lyon County. And this is a requirement for every year that we meet with him and talk about his budget and approve his budget. We are his bosses. The mayors are his bosses. So we talked about the flooding, we talked about the budget. We're meeting again in February to approve his budget. Every single board meets in January and February, and they all meet at the same time. So it is whenever you guys want to come here, just block off your February and January. But one of the great things that they did a presentation, because we have to have we're due for another FEMA mitigation plan for our counties. So we had to pay $30,000 to, and not us, Inwood, but collectively, our towns are all putting that together to pay this. And it's done, all of us together, we benefit from this and we have to do it. So it's not a negotiable thing. And it's a great service. So it was Two Rivers Emergency Management, Carol. And it's their all hazards mitigation plan. So they went over all of their services. They are going to send out surveys. They encourage everyone to take the surveys, talking about what your emergency plans are for your community. So they'll be reaching out to our rescue and fire. But it's open to anybody. So any citizens of your towns. If you feel like you have good resources, basically, do you feel like you have good fire and rescue? Do they respond quickly? Do you feel like your town has an adequate tornado center? All of these questions that they're asking you. And one thing that they talked about from the flooding is the need for towns to have sandbags on hand. Because when you need sandbags on hand, you can't get them fast enough. And they don't take up a ton of space because they're obviously not full. So you need to have sandbags on hand and you need to have sand. And so George actually, from their flooding, had thousands and thousands and thousands of sandbags that they got as part of their FEMA efforts. So they're going to redistribute them through all of our cities, which is great. So I talked with Troy and Jamie and we're gonna figure out where to store them, and they felt confident that we would be able to store them somewhere and have access to the sand that would be needed. So just giving you guys that FYI. That's the report from the management meeting. Any questions on that? And if you want copies of this is their, like, I can give you copies of this too. Yeah, it's the agenda and then their agreement with,
Okay.
yeah. I figured you might want this second piece here with their, yeah. So, but Arden, if you want anything more specific, you can do you too, if you need some records for us. I know. Pool prep. So talked to Jamie and Troy about pool prep, so it made me think about you guys in pool prep. When I talked to Joni at the end of the pool season, she told me that Maria had resigned. And so, I just put that in the back of my head because it was the end of the season. Now we're to the time when we start to talk about like advertising for guards. And so I have to put it on the agenda. So I don't know if you've thought about it at all. If I haven't actually talked to Joni Shannon, so I don't expect you to talk to her. I don't expect you to. I know that puts you in a funny situation. If you want to, you can, but I don't expect you to. But we probably need to have somebody in that role.
Trust me, the discussion has been, yes. If we don't find a replacement, we're soon gonna not have a training for the replacement.
Yeah,
So I think it'd be wise to advertise for a director.
Okay.
Along with lifeguards.
Definitely. You know, and the sooner we can put the feelers out for a director would be better. And whether, you know, there's considerations to want to make sure they're certified for lifeguard, things like that, in case they need to work or not. Maybe they don't have to be either, maybe they just need to be a manager. You know, we need to determine what role they really need to have and fill. Or is it more important that they can be just there for a few hours every day and cover when something ugly comes up at night or whenever that they're available. You know, so we need to determine just exactly what we want them to do.
So do you guys want to brainstorm that and come up with what would make the most sense to advertise? Because I feel like advertising for just, hey, who wants to be a director is probably not the path to go. I feel like we need to have a little bit more information.
We need more of a solid
Yeah.
description,
Yeah,
job description,
if you're gonna,
before we advertise.
yeah, if you're gonna be the aquatics director, this is what it looks like. You're gonna build the schedule, you're gonna be responsible to make sure they're certified. You're gonna, like, what does that entail?
Yeah.
And then we can put that out. And I'm open, you guys ultimately make recommendations. I think we would rely heavily on you and talking to Joni about compensation for that person, because she did it for like next to nothing,
Yes.
which is insane and very kind, but it's a ton of work and a ton of responsibility. So,
Yep. I guess we have to talk to Joni and see what she thinks too, because with her, it was easy,
yeah,
because she knew how to do everything.
right.
two more people we need to contact and figure out is Maddie and Shayla, if they're willing to help with training again like they did last year.
Mhm.
You know, that was vital as well, because it took a little bit out of Joni.
Mhm.
Joni could help make sure it was scheduled, but once it was scheduled, she could remove herself, because they were gonna do it,
Mhm.
which was important. I know Joni didn't ever do that, but she could have. But, so we need to make sure that Maddie and Shayla are back on again for this year as well.
So can I give you guys some homework for the next month?
Yeah.
To get with Joni and
Yeah.
Maddie and Shayla?
Yeah.
And then we'll be able, because we should probably push out those advertisements next
Yeah.
month.
So, for sure.
Yeah, like we're gonna miss guards if we don't get them out there, because they
Yeah.
need to have time to take their training.
We may, once if we can talk sometime, maybe we can come up with a description, and then if we can get that, at least the director position put out there. The guards are the guards, you know, we
Right.
got those descriptions already covered.
Right,
You know, that's just an issue throwing it out there, but if we can come up with what we need this person to do,
yeah.
we can get them all pushed out before then.
The big thing is like, we can advertise for guards and we can get applications in, but then they get interviewed and like hired, and that's usually these people
Yeah.
that do that.
You know,
And I think one change we want to make with the guards is we want to look into, I know we haven't done this in the past, but drug and alcohol testing.
Mhm.
If there's a good route there of how we could do that before we hire or right after we hire,
Mhm.
and then maybe just one random day in the summer.
It's in our employee handbook that we have the ability to do that whenever we want.
But if we could create a process of what company we go through and
Mhm.
how to actually do that.
Do we have that? Do we have a company that we go through, like LabQuest or something?
No, I looked into it a couple years ago and we just didn't move forward with it.
Okay,
But yeah, there's a couple good ones out there.
can you look into that piece of it? Okay,
Just adds a level of safety and security there.
mm-hmm. Especially for that position,
Yes.
it's very important.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else on the pool side of the house?
I don't think so.
no.
It comes quick, doesn't it? Like, didn't you feel like we just closed her down? Okay, the Lyon County Riverboat, so they reached out to me, a representative did, about that, and I sent the messages to Mark and Shannon to think about, but I just wanted to relay them to the council so that they were aware too. Ultimately, I think, in my opinion, you guys are the appointed people for the pool board. So you get to talk to your leaders at the pool and determine what makes the most sense. But I feel like we can have open communication about it and then go from there, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Okay. So let me find my message. For sure, no, Mark. Because that's how I live my life. Gonna find all of you, I don't want to talk about it, I just want to talk to them. Okay, so she said, all right, no. Maybe send you a fake message. So the Lyon County Riverboat Foundation has some suggestions for inward free swimming on the 4th of July and a couple of days at the end of the year. And then asked if funds for pool passes would get used in Inwood. And then she said that the bank also would like to sponsor an end of the year party, providing the food, etc. And she said that for the 4th though, it would be paid for, so it would be free to anyone coming, but it would be paid for by the city or businesses. So like you would have sponsors from the city to cover the cost of anybody being admitted, or the city would assume that cost. And she said that the city of George does that and also does a couple of days at the end of the season. And then she said that the Riverboat Foundation is bumping up the amount of donations for pool passes from 1,000 to 2,000. So you should have that earmarked in the budget. And then they're also bumping up, and I forgot to tell Kenny this, the amount for the 4th of July celebration to 3,500. It was 2,500. So,
Because I didn't realize we get money from the Riverwood Foundation to cover yearly passes, is that what this is?
For, families in need.
Okay.
so that's, just so you guys are aware, that was the suggestion from the Riverboat Foundation, that I passed it to those two to
Yeah, I'm gonna print them out a little bit.
hem and haw about them and
Yeah.
decide.
One of the issues with the 4th of July has always been getting guards to work as well, because they like to have the day off.
Yeah, for sure, it's a holiday.
So,
I
And it's
will,
already very chaotic.
I will say, and I told this to Joni before, when I was a lifeguard, we had an incentive to work on the 4th of July. So if you worked on the 4th of July, you got like $100 bonus.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, like
Mhm.
you forfeited your day of fun to make some extra money. And there were people who were like, I'm not doing anything until 6 o'clock anyway, like, whatever, I'll come and work, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, just food for thought.
And normally we're only open 3 hours anyway.
it's like
Right.
for 2 hours in the afternoon, so.
It's not a big deal if it's not hot, like, it was raining last year,
Mhm.
I mean, kind of raining, kind of not, you know? But if it's hot out,
But normally we're,
the pool is nice.
yeah, it's to capacity
Mm-hmm.
on the floor.
So, okay. We are done. That's crazy. 7:35.
What happens? Cool.
What, batteries okay?
Jordan's like, wait, where's this? Is there more pages? Like, where's that?
Can't get over it,
Okay, Mark, do you have anything else to add?
Do not.
Shannon, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
Jordan?
One question on,
Yeah.
you talked about, the enclosed shelter
Yeah,
to Kenny and
Mike.
Mike, do they know what our work concern was about, working on the existing?
yes.
Okay, so we're on the
Yes.
same page.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want them moving forward and we're kind of missing stuff.
yeah, no, I told them that we're just not sure if it's worthwhile to not incorporate something repair-wise with what we have. That's kind of
The old structure
Old,
can handle. the
yeah.
new one. Okay,
right,
help out, I just want
Yeah.
to say that.
yes. Anything else? Anything? Carol, do you have anything else? Okay. So next meeting is March 10th at 6:30. I am heading out of town Thursday to Chicago, so Mark is gonna be mayor pro tem until Monday. So if you need something, bother him about it. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Support.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Remember when I told you that it would get better?
Still waiting for it to get worse yet. Start moving on this community center.
Oh,
Probably gonna get worse.
oh.
Okay.